Hello and good morning. Today, October 10th, is observed as World Mental Health Day. The theme given by WHO is mental health is a universal human right. What, according to you, is mental health? आप क्या सोचते हैं मानसिक स्वास्थ्य या मेंटल हेल्थ क्या है? अपना जवाब हमें कमेंट सेक्शन में लिख दें। जनरली अगर हम मेंटल हेल्थ को समझें तो ये एक स्टेट ऑफ माइंड है, हमारे इमोशंस और फीलिंग्स का, जो हमें हेल्प करता है या हम कहीं एम्पावर करता है to handle a situation that we face in life. It could be some stressful situation or some challenges that we face effectively. Recognize our capabilities, हमारी क्षमताओं को समझने में, हमारी क्षमताओं को यूटिलाइज करने में, जो भी काम हम करते हैं उसमें एक्सेल करने में, चाहे हम स्टूडेंट्स हों, हम होम मेकर्स हों, प्रोफेशनल्स हों, and then make most importantly is make a meaningful contribution towards the community. अपने समुदाय, अपने समाज के लिए कुछ सार्थक योगदान देना. So ये सभी मानसिक स्वास्थ्य या mental health कहलाता है. Hi, my name is Shivali and I shall be your host for this 109th session of Talk to the Expert series organized by Spectrum the Awareness Project. The theme for us this year is empowering parents, and today we are talking about importance of self-care for caregivers. Today's guest is someone who has been there and done that. She's done it so remarkably that she's become an example for most of us to learn and to follow. I'm talking about Miss Veena Naren, fondly called as Varun's mom. So let's welcome her and hear it from her mantras of mental health and well-being. Hi, ma'am. Good morning.
Good morning, Shivali. Not yes, but that's okay.
I was about to say that, excuse for saying ma'am, but it is a long habit. Welcome on this humble platform where we're trying to do something meaningful for the community. And today's talk and the topic, I think, is very close to all of our hearts, self-care for caregivers. So before we start with this session and really go deep dive in, I would like to understand a bit more about you. Like I was sharing that I really don't know much about you, except for that you're Varun's mother and you do such wonderful work towards parent empowerment. Please tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thank you for inviting me, Shivali. I don't know whether I'm worthy of it, but yes, I shall say and talk about my own journey with Varun. I am Veena. I'm a special educator by profession, but and I was one even before Varun was born. So when he was born, of course, I had all those fears of, oh, hope I have a child who will be so-called normal. And well, plans were otherwise. But I think it really helped me to even track Varun and help Varun through his journey. But I still tell parents, parenting is just common sense. It is not, there's nothing to get worried about it. And I think we all make mistakes. We all grow with our mistakes. And I think our journey with Varun has also been the same. Varun was born about when I was 29. And somewhere at age 2 is when I realized, Varun is not talking as much as a regular 2-year-old should. And being in the special ed line, there was always this fear. Is he meeting the milestones? Is he doing this? And I think rightly what I did was go to the experts. Like I did go to a speech therapist. I went to someone who was best in the industry, Mrs. Dinaz Wadia. And, I took it from there without fearing that, oh God, now he has a problem. What do I do? And that is something what we talk about mental health is to be able to just deal with what we are going through and find out what we can do to help ourselves and help people who need help. In this case, it was my son who needed help. And I think that's where our journey started with Varun. So you want me to elaborate a bit on it, Shivali?
Yeah. So I would want to understand it from the perspective of a new parent. When Varun was diagnosed, you were a new parent, and most likely you would not have heard much about autism then. That's what most parents tell us, that before our child was diagnosed, we have never heard about this. So from that new parent's perspective, when you've just been informed that your child is on the spectrum, to the moment when you start accepting and working towards it and then supporting your child, what all did you do to make sure that, Varun identifies his strengths and, becomes independent? Because that is what, as parents, we all want. Yeah.
Right, right. So, with regards to Varun, we went to the best doctors, to the best therapists, because we know that we realize we don't know everything. So let's go to the experts. And so we did start our journey with lot of therapies, with occupational therapy, with speech therapy, because that is what Varun required at that point of time. And of course, our speech therapist, Dinaz Wadia, was such a wonderful lady that should also help us in coping with, we would say, this is how it is, we are very upset, or this, or even help us counsel between husband and wife. Because there were times when both of us had conflicting views, my husband and I, and not everything was for the betterment of the child. But, at that point of time, each of us goes through different thoughts and emotions. And I think as a new parent, yes, to accept that your child has a difficulty is extremely difficult. And I know it takes time. But over a period, I've just realized every child is different. Every child is capable of anything in this world. Only that each child will take his own time to do stuff, just as we all do. I mean, none of us are the same. Each of us takes, it takes so many things to get where you are today. And I think with us also, it was the same. Despite going to therapists, we did have a lot of challenges with behavior, with this thing. But I think parents, first start with your therapies, because, or first, once, of course, you're not able to identify, look around. Because for me, what helped was I would take Varun to a garden. And in the garden, I ensured that he played also all the things, despite he didn't want to play, because in autism, there is so much of sensory issue. But that was something I realized that I need to expose him. I can't be just keeping him at home saying that, oh God, something, let something happen on its own. It is not going to happen like that. And it's very nice. People say, go and pray to God. All that we do. But where we need to work, we need to work. I think that is something I would urge parents, go and ask for help. There are people to help. And everyone is not judgmental. I mean, you will always have somebody who will lend a ear, lend you a shoulder, and help you out. So whether it is a therapist, or it could be just your neighbor or your friend. And what has worked with me is just letting out, by telling people that, see, I have a kid who has challenges, but he's capable. And I think I have heard parents who don't want to tell people that we have a child with a disability. And I'm not judging them for it. It's their choice. But where I feel, having told that, I'm calmer, because then I don't expect from them too many expectations, but they see that, oh God, this child is such a capable child. So I think it works both ways. But I think each of us have to battle our own journeys and battle it happily, because believe me, it's not going to take us anywhere just brooding about it. Brooding will not help us. And on Mental Health Day, what better way to tell you that, let your stress will be there, and we have to have stress. If we don't have stress, I think we'll be too calm in life, and everything needs a balance.
Yeah. So, like you said, that it is important for parents to accept that the child has a condition which needs, maybe some specific way to address to it. And once that is done, what you mentioned, that there would be certain people who would judge you and certain people who would accept you, and they would just, you have to find your tribe and, move on and along with your child. So when it happened for Varun, when he was diagnosed and you moved on with the therapist, so this artwork, I want to tell the viewers, those who joined us this Sunday, we had a wonderful, wonderful session that Sushma conducted, and Varun was the tutor for all of us, the art teacher, and he did a fabulous job. We all did some amazing work. What he showed us is it is so simple to just make something which bursts your stress. So pick up a pen, a paper, and just start doodling the way that Varun does, and he does a fabulous job. So, how did this journey happen from identifying that he has a flair for art, and then from there to helping him become a caricature artist? And he's invited at different corporates also, is what we discussed here.
Yeah, first I'll tell you, he has something called Fragile X syndrome, which is genetic, which is passed on from me. So he has taken the art genes from me, certainly not from my husband. I'll put the other all blame to him, but and sometimes I do tell parents I have ADHD, but I'm a certified. I also have Fragile X syndrome, so you have to excuse me. And I have friends who fire me. They're saying you always get away with saying something like this. But I think that is what is life. I think we just move on. And Varun, even as a kid, used to just keep doodling on paper. And I used to see that he loved doing it. And over a period, even in school, he used to go to a regular school initially. And even the teachers would say, we thought he's not listening, but he's keeping on doodling. But when I ask him questions, this kid is answering. So we said, okay. So they got a hang of, doesn't have to be always looking at the teacher, because that is a point of conflict for a lot of people, that my child with autism doesn't give eye contact, and there are teachers who are wanting the child to look at you always, and sometimes we just need to tell them, listen, they are listening to you. It is just too overwhelming for them to look at you and answer you. And like all of us, if you don't feel very comfortable, you are not going to look at that person. You're going to look away. And I think that journey of doodling started, and he went on doing, and somewhere he started drawing, because when I would teach him general knowledge, he would be he would see a lot of TV, and he would see all these American channels, Penn and Teller, and, and he started watching them, and then he started drawing, he would just open up some Google thing and see a cartoon caricature of theirs, and he would start drawing that. And that's when I realized, okay, this kid seems to be good with line drawings, with something which is, straightforward. And, he's not so much a coloring person, because he also has some form of attention deficit, which he doesn't want too many things. He just likes to draw and finish. So I think that is where we got going with Varun and said, okay, let's just explore this. And then we realized he started drawing people's faces, caricatures of, real. He would just take a photo of somebody and say, okay, I will draw and give. And that I thought was a very good idea for Varun, because he likes his space, he likes his distance from people. But this is wonderful because he doesn't need to really interact too much with them. He has their photos, he draws for them, and then he feels very good about it because he's achieved something. So that is something. Yeah.
The wall behind, yeah.
Yeah. So
the wall behind you, this is all Varun's work, right?
Yes, yes. And those are some of the photographs that he's taken. So he's into photography also. So again, to parents, I would always suggest, when your child is doing some kind of art, it doesn't have to look superb. Put it up on your wall, because someone will come home and say, wow, who's done that? And you can say it with pride that this is done by my child. And, that is a big step for, children also feel, oh, mama, they really praised my drawing. I know Varun would feel so good about it. And that is something I encourage parents to do. There is no great art. There is no art is art. It could be just colors. It could be abstract. It could be people you want to draw, whatever. So I think art, as you said, is a wonderful medium. Varun would draw art when he was upset, when he was happy. So he does art, and it's become a hobby. So earlier, as you said, a lot of our kids like a routine. And for Varun, that routine was important. So I think that is something I inculcated, that Varun draws something every day. Oh, you see this serial? Okay, why don't you draw, you like Jimmy Fallon, draw Jimmy Fallon. And then he likes some musicians, you draw the musicians. And that way he also learned, and it became a routine for him. So today he is like drawn the entire Indian cricket team for the ICC World Cup. So, but it's become a passion for him now. It's not just a need to do something. And he is basically loves to teach. So I think that is where you need to tap your child's potential. And if there are parents who say, my child has no hobby, my child has no interest. No, every child has some interest. It could be listening to music. Why not? So from that music, you can tell the child, you make your own music. You can create a song of your own. You can make your own lyrics. It doesn't have to be perfect. None of us need perfection. So I think,
absolutely.
Yeah.
So you said a couple of very, very important things. Is the one about having a routine. It is so important for each one of us to have a routine, irrespective if your child has a special condition or not. For each one of us, it is important to have a routine. And in that routine, have space for doing different things each day that makes you happy. And the other thing that you mentioned about is, how hobby became his passion. So something that you spotted when he was very young, that he was good with pencil and colors and he was able to do things, to now, which has become his passion, which he does so beautifully. The other day he took the session and I think he was very fab. He just managed the whole thing so well in terms of so many different things that we were telling him, that do this, try this alphabet, try this name, and he was doing it so beautifully. So I think, it is important to identify a hobby. And the next question which I'm asking is, when a lot of us who think self-care for caregivers is what we're talking about, is selfish. If as a parent I take care of myself over my child, it is not the right thing for me to do as a parent. So I wanted to understand from your viewpoint. I'm sure you parents, somebody would have told you also that, why are you doing this for yourself? You should be taking care of your child. So is self-care selfish? Your views?
Not at all. But I'm still learning to go there and to do something for myself. But I have learned over a period, because when you particularly have a child with a lot of behavior issues, and when Varun was younger, there were behavior issues, I would be so upset. And my self-care would be just first to go into the bathroom and cry out. Okay. And it was, but believe me, that helped, because, I just let it out. And then I would say, now enough of crying, let me go and do something. And I'm not saying everyone uses the same path. Each one has. And then I love doing Sudoku and I love reading books. So I would take up the most challenging Sudoku and I'll say, no, today I have to get this Sudoku I have to get it right. And it was a way for me to feel self-worth. And it's not because what my child did, it was anger. And we parents like to put the anger on ourselves. Maybe, did I not bring up my child properly? Did I not do this properly? But today, I think I'm a lot more wiser or sensible to understand that, no, I mean, he is doing what he is doing because he can't deal with it. And I have to accept that. And of course, work on it. It's not that I allow him, come on, keep doing. No, I'll also, and today, I think which is important for parents is I tell Varun, what you did today to me, I am extremely upset. Okay. And I'm sure you would also feel bad if I did that to you. And at a point, I have realized this has helped me a lot, because instead of keeping it all into myself, I explain it to Varun. And I usually tell it to my husband, because if my husband calls, if my voice is not okay, he immediately knows. He said, what happened? This is what he would ask me. So I think just let it out. Your self-care is, one is letting out and then moving on. See, there is no point keeping it within yourself, it's not going to help. It's only going to give more negativity.
Correct. Correct. So another very, I think, important point that you emphasize is one, become aware that you are, going through if it is a rough patch that you're going through, become aware and then allow yourself the time to just maybe sit with it. Crying itself, I was talking to somebody this morning where we were discussing how important it is to acknowledge that you had a bad day. So what? You had a bad day. Not, you win some, you lose some. Not every day is as good as the other one. So acknowledge that you had a bad day. Then do what makes you happy. Soothe yourself like you would soothe your pamper or support your child. So likewise, do it to yourself first. And the other thing that you said is about setting boundaries. When you tell your child that, listen, what you did didn't go well with me. It made me uncomfortable. It was unpleasant. So it is important to let people know, and children will also learn eventually, when they hear it from us, because they all love us, and there is no doubt about it. The child may not be able to express himself or herself as much as you and I probably can do in words or through actions or gestures, but they love us. And it is important for us to tell them that, this didn't go well, so maybe we can change, and help them by giving options of what can be done. Next time, if you feel like this, if you are upset about something, can you try saying this? Can you just write it somewhere? Can you draw how you're feeling? So allow them that space to express themselves. And I think it is so important. So thank you once again. And I will give you some pause, because I'm going to read out some of the comments that the audience are flooding the whole session in the chat here. Thank you so much, Indrani Chatterjee ma'am, for joining. She says every journey has its own specific terms to follow, and so is intellectual impairment. It is important that we practice acceptance to be compliant with every uniqueness, every virtue or vice as a person is born with. Indrani ma'am is part of this team, and she is an autism parent herself. She sings beautifully, and so does her son, Krishnendu. Thank you so much, ma'am. Then we have Shashi Thakur. She says that, loved listening to your interesting perspective, ma'am. Your son, Varun, is a genius. Thank you so much, Shashi, for joining us today. Rashmi says, love to hear you. The passionate mother in you tells it all. So motivating. Indrani ma'am again sends another message for you. I completely agree that art in any form is a sublime mode of expression that unfolds the original being of a person. So well said. Meena Girish says, you're truly inspiring, ma'am. Ranjana says, true. She agrees with her. So Rashmi, Ranjana, Meena, everybody is writing so many comments there for you. I would request that you please take time and respond to these comments when you're free. One thing that I got a question this morning, and I discussed with you before we started this session also. So I'm going to read out what the mother has written. My child, 13-year-old boy, is high functioning, behaves in front of the guests such that it causes embarrassment to me. It gives me anxiety. What do I do?
So I sometimes face that with Varun. Varun will talk some nonsense. So even when he sees programs, I kind of tell him, I'm allowing you to watch this, but these are not things you will say it out in the open. So I think to prepare your child, I have done a lot of self-talk with Varun by not addressing him directly, but talking on our dining table when we're having our dinner or a lunch, and saying that, there are so many things we need to say, but they are not appropriate. And it doesn't look nice because there are certain things you keep it as private, and there are certain things you don't say in public. And this is something we keep reiterating to Varun also when we are going to have guests, or even if some impromptu guests come. But this is something we've cultivated as you said, a routine. It is not that today I said it, because my child is going to forget. So this is something which I would keep telling my child every day as part of my talking with the child, that, some things are not acceptable. You can say it in front of your mom and your dad. You can ask things, but there are things which we don't do in public. So, this can become a part of your conversation daily. I mean, he's 13 now. Varun is 23 now. And still he comes up with something weird. I need to tell him. And that we keep doing. Sometimes I tell him in private, because if he doesn't want everyone to know that we are having this conversation, there's many times Varun tells me, Papa, this is between Mama and me. This is what he also tells. So, it's not for you. So we have that. So I think that bond that you build with your child, and tell him that, yeah, you can speak this in front of me. I have no problem. We will address it. Okay. But it's not okay to do so outside. And again, try these. See, there is a lot of trial and error that we all as parents, or even as regular people, we all do that. It may backfire. It may not backfire. But as I said, there's no right, wrong. And where it has helped us is, I mean, already people know that he is a kid with challenges. And, sometimes he does tend to say things. You can always clarify to parents or to other people who have come in your audience when your child is away that, yes, he has said this, please excuse us, but we are working on it. I think always this work in progress is something which helps me as a parent, and to tell people that, look, work in progress is happening. We are working on it. It will work out sometime.
But while each one of us is a work in progress, and it is such a positive state of mind to be in, that I may make mistakes, to err is human. And so can the child make mistakes, and we can all just learn from that and move on.
Yes.
And that is, this moving on is where a lot of these hobbies will help. So I want to tell the audience who are here with us today is musical extravaganza, the one that we had earlier this month, wherein almost over 20 people participated, children, young adults, their parents, everybody came together. This is one of the ways to maybe share with everybody that each one of us has a different variety, a variety of talent that we may have. It is important to identify and then hone those skills, harness that talent that we have within us. So this was one of the things. And I also want to tell that this moment is, we're doing a month-long art fest with Varun was part of that art workshop. And we will be having Nehal in the coming Sunday, who will be talking about her stone painting that she does, and she does it beautifully. We will have some more artists joining us. We have got some more requests also. Some more people have agreed to do these sessions, because I think everybody realizes that each one of us has that 15 minutes time that we can create for ourselves out of those 24 hours for ourselves, that to empower the being that we are. That takes me to the next question, and that is anything which from your own experience, a self-care strategy, though you mentioned that you're also working on it, but any strategy that you would want to recommend to parents of children with autism or with any other special needs?
Sorry. So self-care, as I said, first learn to look after yourself. And I have seen, because my child has different hobbies, he's also busy doing something that automatically gives you enough time for yourself, right? So it could be anything. I mean, I love this book called Ikigai and How to Ikigai, which is actually talking about what is your purpose in life, right? So we all have a purpose. Today, my purpose is that my child, and for every special needs parent, everybody's purpose in life is that their child becomes independent, right? And that self-care that child is going to become independent if you are mentally strong. If you yourself are not mentally strong, you're not going to be able to work with your child. So for that, each one has, for some people, yoga works wonderfully. I'm not a very yoga person. And my husband keeps saying, you do something to calm yourself. And I tell him, my calming is maybe listening to music or reading a book or doing Sudoku, or, I just love doing or a crossword, but there is no dirt. I mean, it could be art. Sometimes, a lot of times I just like coloring. So I just color. So art is a medium which I think there is no stopping anyone from doing that. It could be just a pencil. It could be what you want. You could write a song You can listen to music. You can karaoke. I mean, who cares? The self-care is for you. It is for you to be happy. You're not doing it because you want someone else to, you want someone to appreciate it. But that will also happen. But if your mind is free and happy, it reflects on your child. I mean, I have seen that umpteen times. If I'm not in a good mood, I'm passing out all that to my child or to all the members of your family. It's not just one person. So your self-care should be anything. You want to go to a spa? Please go to a spa. I remember someone telling me, I'm so upset today, I'm going to the beauty parlor. And yes, why not? I mean, if that is what is going to give you your happiness or self-care, and that's what's going to make you feel better, do so. There is no stopping. There is no formula for happiness. Happiness is something from within. And I just feel just move on. I mean, I have learned it the hard way. And I feel, I mean, just move on. I mean, I have this beautiful book, as I told you, How to Ikigai. And it has something very beautifully written. Do what you love. Do what you're good at. Right? Do what the world needs. Okay, so you need to have a purpose. You can't just say, I will only do this, and do something purposeful in life, because then at the end of the day, you feel happy that you made someone happy, and do what you can be rewarded for. The reward doesn't have to be some gift. It could be just a hug. It could be just giving a smile on someone's face. You know, people tell me, you are always making us laugh. I say, oh, that's a beautiful purpose, because if I'm able to make someone happy, so my purpose, I feel, is that one is to make my child independent. Second is to help out other parents. I don't know everything, but I can always give you ideas, and then we work on each of it. So do what you love doing. I think the key, and do what you're good at. You would start something very difficult, and then you're obviously going to say, I can't do this. So do something simple, do it well, do it and enjoy yourself.
Lovely. I think that's such a powerful message to give. Do what you enjoy doing and do something which is meaningful. Something that gives you, that makes you part of the community wherein it is supporting each other, right?
Yes.
The community acknowledges the work that you do, and it really makes an impact on their life also. So don't worry about the acknowledgement if you don't get it from anyone. How Gurudev Rabindranath says, Ekla chalo. So if that works for you, just move on, march on. And I think eventually people will realize that, it is for everybody's own good when you invest in yourself, because then you're not passing on. You're like, when you said, there's a lot of ripple effect that happens to emotions, you are not, so it's like a domino effect. You're not happy, so you pass on that unhappiness to others. So if you're happy, you ensure that everybody else around you is also happy. So wonderful, but don't take load of everybody else. Please look after yourself, parents. First, make yourself, take care of your own health, most importantly, because all the parents who, when children are in their teens and in the young adults, mothers and fathers, they are also going through their, midlife crisis at work, at home, in their body, physique, and everything else. So please take care of yourself such that you're fit to, enjoy the time with your children as they grow up. So Ranjana here says it is important to convey your emotions in right way, even to children, so that they understand the healthy way to deal with tough emotions. So important to regulate emotions.
Yes.
And most, children are watching us. So like if they say that they would not listen to you as much as, but they're watching you. So they're observing what you're doing and they will replicate it. And I quote this a lot of times, that I find myself behaving like my parents a lot of times, unknowingly, not that I'm copying them. I wish I could do as much as they were. They were such nice. They are so nice sort of parents. So a lot of times we do that. Nina says, if the root cause of a child's behavior is known, we can help him or her, not as mothers, but as teachers and individuals. I think this is so very well said. Rashmi Sood says, and specifically for mothers with children with special needs, it is all the more because she needs to do a lot.
Yes.
So it is so important that we take care of ourselves. And that takes me to my last question. I would love to have this conversation going, as long as we can. But the last question: any message to the community, that you would like to give on this day?
First, believe in your child. Do not compare your child with another child. Very easily said. I know, very difficult to do, but I think that is the key to giving you happiness. Your self-care comes in that, because if you're happy and you're happy with what your child is doing, there will be something he's good at. And I think at the end of the day, another thing that I like to generally do is introspect at the end of the day, whether I have conducted myself well in the sense of my emotional well-being or my stress levels. Have I done something which I can work on? That is something I always try to think of at the end of the day. And generally, both my husband and I, at least, even if there is some argument, we want to end that argument and sleep happily. You don't want to keep that lingering, whether it's your child, whether it's somebody else. But I think that's the message. Because if you are happy, everybody's happy. I think the key goal is just that, be happy and live and let live, And I think parents of special needs, I know, and there are parents who also, with regular children, also have challenges. So there are parents who tell me, you think only your kids have, even our children have, and they don't even listen. I have friends, because their Varun has gone to a regular school, they are also cribbing. So don't think we have more challenges. I think we are all in the same boat. It is how we take in each of it and how we work on our stress levels. And as I said, listen to music. Do what you are good at and do what you love doing. I think that is all I can think of. And
that summarizes. No, you were saying something.
No, just keep smiling. I know I'm always smiling. So, people say, you never even show. I said, but this is just naturally it comes. And I think it should, because at least you don't need to do yoga, na? You can just use all the muscles of your mouth by smiling. It will help you.
For practitioners, they will tell you even this is an exercise. So
yes,
smiling is, yeah. I think that summarizes the whole point very beautifully, that, look after yourself, keep smiling, do what you can do to keep yourself happy, and, spread this positivity around, like you were telling that you're such a positive person. And we can see that through coming across the screen so powerfully, so strongly. And like Rashmi also says here, and I'm taking this as the last comment. Thank you so much, viewers, for joining us today. Rashmi says happiness lies within us and we look outside. Moving forward towards your purpose makes you happy. Continue in your journey. Don't worry about people. Stand alone, spirit. Thank you so much there, everybody, for joining us today. And I would request everybody to take a pledge today to invest some time on your emotions in taking care of yourself. Listen to people, just be there for them, and do not listen with judgments. It is easy because we're conditioned to do that. So make an effort, an active effort of listening without any judgments for people, and create that awareness towards mental health and well-being for everybody. And on this note, I would take leave today. We will be meeting very soon with Nehal when she tells us about how she does that amazing stone painting. And thank you so much, Veena, for joining us today. Finally, I've learned towards the end of the session, not calling you ma'am.
Good job.
You learn, no, don't we? So thank you so much. It was such a wonderful time with you, learning so many different things today.
Thank you. Anytime, any parents, you're always welcome. Thank you, Shivali, again for giving the opportunity.
Lovely to have you, and we'll keep in touch with you for more information and support. Thank you,
Anytime.
everybody, and have a
Thank,
beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you. Bye bye.
thank you.